Just because I said before marriage that I didn't like his closeness, he never set foot in our marital room after marriage. He treated me so well, but I refused to eat to pressure him into divorcing me, even falsely claimed that I had feelings for someone else, and ultimately caused him to lose his life because of me. Now, reborn to the day I began refusing to eat, thinking of the man who cherished me so deeply in my previous life. All I want is to see him as soon as possible. However, as I reached the door, a deep voice came from outside. Is something the matter? The moment I heard Julius' voice, tears welled up in my eyes. Don't cry, he said, walking in. Pulling a handkerchief from his jacket, he gently wiped my tears away. He stood before me, his usual confidence replaced by a flicker of doubt. Does being married to me hurt you this much? His voice was hoarse. I shook my head quickly, wanting to explain, but the words wouldn't come out. My sobs were uncontrollable. Stop crying, he said firmly, though his hand patted my back gently. No matter what you do, Whitney, I won't let you leave me. I could tell he thought this was another scheme to get him to agree to divorce, but it wasn't. Without thinking, I threw myself into his arms. Julius stiffened in shock. His hands hesitated to hold me, but eventually wrapped around me lightly, only to release me just as quickly. I don't want to separate anymore, I whispered into his heart. His entire body froze. Say that again? I don't want to leave you, I repeated, looking up at him with what I hoped was sincerity in my eyes. He studied me for what felt like forever. His voice trembled slightly as he finally spoke. Whitney, if you're not being truthful, you'd better be prepared to live with this for the rest of your life. I'm not lying, Julius, I said firmly. I mean it, I don't want to leave you. He narrowed his eyes, scanning my face for any sign of deceit. What do you want? I'm a little angry. Why couldn't he just believe me? Instead, I stepped forward, grabbed his tie, and pulled him down so we were eye to eye. His expression was guarded, but he bent forward anyway. Before he could say a word, I kissed him, a soft, fleeting touch on his lips. That's what I want, I said softly. Can you understand that? He stared at me, completely stunned. I just want to stay by your side, I added, every word heartfelt. It took him a moment to respond. Not enough, he finally said, his voice gravelly. What? If you think you can fool me into letting my guard down, that's not enough to convince me. I almost laughed out loud, thinking it was ridiculous, this stubborn and cautious man. Instead of arguing with him, I leaned closer to him and tried to say something else, but before I could, he kissed me again. When he pulled away, he said, that's the minimum if you want me to believe you. I sighed. He really didn't know how to handle the idea of me staying. I reached for his hand again, gripping it tightly. Julius, I mean it, I just want to be with you. His gaze softened slightly, but he still seemed unsure. Finally, he said, let's go downstairs, you haven't eaten. The mention of food made me realize just how hungry I was. My stomach growled in agreement. I moved toward the closet to grab a change of clothes. When I turned back, Julius was still rooted in place, staring at me. So do you want to watch me change? I teased. His face turned red as he hurried out, shutting the door behind him. Once dressed, I stepped out to find Julius and his two guards waiting. As soon as Julius saw me, his eyes lit up, but his expression quickly hardened. You two, turn around, he ordered the guards sharply. I chuckled at his protectiveness. Let's go, I said, smiling. He hesitated before holding out his hand. I took it without hesitation, and his entire body seemed to freeze. What's wrong? Aren't we going downstairs? I asked softly. He didn't respond immediately, and I realized how much damage I'd done to him in the past. Even something as simple as holding my hand left him speechless. Eventually, he snapped out of it. Let's go, he said, leading the way. When we entered the dining room, I felt all the servants' eyes on us. They were probably